Jeff with Koncept Garage here, taking you behind the scenes for this two-car garage conversion out in the hills in Austin, Texas. Challenges and goals for this client was they're having their third child, so that's usually a big impetus to get the garage clean and safe is the addition of a family member. They also want to reclaim this as a gym, so they had set up an initial gym space, but the wife was basically like, Ross, I'm not going out there anymore until you get this place straightened up. So here's what I walked into. I don't blame her. I wouldn't work out in here. When I was a teenager, though, I grew up in Connecticut, and we had a basement, and not the most glamorous place, but yeah, I took a lot of pride in working out down there in the dungeon. We actually created a dungeon gym. I should create a video about this. In Westlake, new construction, new home, solid concrete, no natural daylight in there, and we put a sauna and a full gym setup. It was pretty sweet. And then the other goal was to park one car and a golf cart. So right now they were barely squeezing in a golf cart on the side, but there was no way they were going to be working out in here and parking. Here's the back wall. You've heard me say it in the past, I don't like overheads. We can accomplish a lot of our goals, a lot of the client's goals without using overhead. So I'm excited to show you what we did with these overhead racks. Like most garages I walk into, a slew of storage systems. The drywall here was in really good shape. There had been some repairs done, so a little bit of touch-ups and repairs needed. One issue we see a lot is the garage doors. There's always a gap down here, so dust and critters come into the garage. We're working on manufacturing our own product to solve this problem. Sometimes builders will extend the garage door frame down to the concrete. Unfortunately, it rots out. This is P-trim. It's wood P-trim. Any garage door company nowadays installs plastic and vinyl. Same thing, put it down there. You can see a piece of sheet metal here. This is always a common retrofit. We see spray foam. I've seen Quickcrete. So people try a variety of different things. Unfortunately, there's no product on the marketplace designed to seal this gap and allow for the garage door to function. So we're going to create that. Stay tuned. Follow us on social media or join our email newsletter from the website to learn more about that. We're really excited. It's going to help a lot of people. Okay, one of the other goals here was to make better use of the attic. So they have a huge attic. I think the attic is just a gold mine for storage. The ceiling's already insulated. You can see the wall here is insulated. I'm not the biggest fan of built-in wood shelving simply because it's not adjustable, and you could see just the space utilization here. As a result, it's not optimized, but it's strong, it's sturdy. I wasn't about to rip all this out it's an attic. So there's plenty of storage capacity up here. Better utilize this. This is a great hack. If you have an attic space above your garage, if you're 60 years old and you have a 12-foot ceiling, I don't want you in the attic, okay? So you got to figure out a different solution to get your storage. That's just a huge safety hazard. But here it's a 9-10 foot ceiling. Ross is a young guy, and then he's one of our clients now, so we have a service where we actually do holiday takedowns to remove this potential safety hazard from our clients. We take down the holiday possessions, put them in the garage, they decorate, and then after the holidays we put it back up and store it for them. So look at this attic space. I mean, it's huge, plenty of storage. They're already halfway there in terms of organization. What we did was we thinned out some of the items here that they no longer needed, and then tidied up the attic. They had a ton of extra storage bins here, so you guys have heard me say I don't like clear plastic storage bins in an unconditioned garage space. The good news about this one is, one, we condition the garage. Secondly, this is an insulated space. And third, these are really good quality clear plastic storage bins, so not the biggest concern. One of the challenges we had, and this is looking up at the ceiling, is the location of the attic itself. So it's against this wall here, which means there's nothing we can do over here in terms of storage that would allow this attic to function at the same time. So if we were to put a wall shelf here, the attic ladder wouldn't come down. If we were to put a slat wall here, they'd have to take all the accessories and possessions off in order to get the attic ladder down. We thought about moving this attic ladder, but given the cost and benefits, of moving it, the attic was already planked out, so we'd have to pull up the planking, we'd have to move this over. There's extra drywall, painting costs. It's already a functional attic space. We decided to just keep it here, seeing they weren't going to be storing many items in the garage to begin with. It's going to be a gym space. They got rid of this refrigerator. It's always, the old refrigerators in the garages, but this one was huge. I mean, it was just gobbling up so much real estate and hardly being used. So you could see the attic ladder here, just how much wall space, storage. You always want to leave 2 feet. So that's a good, 6-7 feet of wall space there that unfortunately we couldn't use. In these photos, you could see the lighting. Again, this garage was chronically underlit. And here's a point in case of one of the reasons I don't like the overhead. So you see the light coming down here, and then boom, this overhead is over here. There's not enough light output over here. There's a shadow in this back wall. It just contributes to the underlit issue. Okay, one of the biggest challenges we faced with this garage was the location of the main electrical panel. This is a detached garage, and the attic actually, well, I'll show you guys a video so you could see. The attic connected to the main house. The challenge was there was no way to just stub up out of the main electrical panel into that attic and pull the 220 volt for the split system over. So the two options were trench, which nobody likes to trench. Either cut up the driveway and trench, or go around the driveway in the back here and through the landscaping, or run conduit on the face of the home. Even though it was on the back side of the home, they back up to a golf course. Rossi said, no, let's just trench it. So we did. We trenched all the way through the backyard here and around to the garage and down the stone wall here, and then eventually, came up and stubbed in and then put the split system condenser out here. So that was one of the biggest challenges. Let me show you guys this video. So here's our day one clean out in progress. We posted this video on Instagram as, I think it was a reel. I don't really play much on Instagram, so the team does a great job when they're in the field. Sometimes they'll post content like this. So this is day one clean out in process, and then you can see that little archway there that they drive through, which separates the home from the garage. Fully emptied. Look, we got rid of the overheads. They went to junk. The metal got recycled, so bye-bye. And a big stain like this, even if it's paint or oil, once we take the grinder and start the epoxy process, it clears that up pretty well. So one thing I want to point out with gyms, oftentimes what I suggest doing is taking this overhead ceiling mounted opener and moving it to the wall to preserve budget. And the specific location of where I was planning to put the gym didn't really necessitate moving this to the wall. But if you want to convert your garage into a living space, getting rid of this ceiling mount opener and doing a wall mount opener, you need at least 10 inches here on the side for that wall mount. Is called a jack shaft. You could Google it. Jack shaft opener to install. You'll have to get an electrician to pull 120 and then low voltage over this front wall too. So if you don't have that attic access, he's gonna have to cut some holes, and you'll have to do some painting and drywall. But it's a great way to free up headroom and make the space feel more like an extension of the home. So we were fully capable of doing it here, but we opted not to. It wouldn't have added any functional benefits. Sure, aesthetically it would have looked a little better, but functionally speaking, and this was already a huge job, so we didn't feel the need to go ahead and add that. One thing we did do was, you see the overspray here on the garage door hardware? We replaced the garage door and then all the hardware. I mean, this is just an easy thing. If you're having your garage door replaced, have the guys replace this pre-punch. It's called angle iron pre-punch. Just have them replace it, especially if there's overspray on it. It's just gonna clean the space up a little more. You could see the new light layout we did here. Recessed cans on a dimmer. That's often what we do when we do a conversion and we're using it as a gym or a lifestyle space, a playroom. Really gives it that interior vibe and gives the client the ability to adjust the light levels as needed. You can see the split system installed here. pulled the blinds off. You got everything painted. We paint before we do epoxy. You could see just even them, the painters, taping off and papering and putting plastic all over the floor. There's always, it's paint, right? I mean, paint gets everywhere. So if you are DIY in your garage and considering coating the floor and painting, paint first. You'll thank me later. Natural daylight is always a big factor. So people sometimes ponder, hey, does it make sense to cut in a window on the wall? I usually say no. And the reason is we want to preserve, we only have so much wall space to work with, to store, to house possessions, to put TVs, to put gym equipment, etc. So the more wall space we have, the more options in terms of design layout that we have. With the attic ladder up against the left wall here, gobbling up 7 feet, the 2 windows on the backside, the most cost-effective and easiest way to add natural daylight is to replace your garage door and put windows on it. So that's exactly what we did. You see here the existing door, no windows, pretty dark, and then seeing this was facing the back, the golf course, privacy really wasn't an issue, so we went clear windows. Usually if you're street facing, go frosted. It just adds a layer of security and privacy, and then you still get a lot of natural daylight in there. Okay, let's talk about the after shots here. This space came out amazing. We installed the mirror here. We did rubber matting on the back half of the garage for a couple of reasons. One, that overhead door. Secondly, they want to pull in and park one plus that golf cart, remember? So this treadmill folds up. They could easily park one in here, and then tires can easily roll over the rubber matting. I went 1/4 inch on this. They're not doing heavy weights. Like if he was doing powerlifting or something and we needed just a little more cushion to protect the floor and just counter for the impact of those heavy weights, I wouldn't have gone 1/4 inch. I would have gone 8mm. But these rubber mats are heavy and you get killed on shipping when you're shipping a lot of weight. So for another $500 going 8mm didn't really make any sense. And I did the back half for only to provide them with this gym area. But secondly, we want to highlight the epoxy flooring and color choices here. This is a whole color palette. Some people, they'll do the rubber mats with the speckles in it. I think that clashes and competes with the flake blends. So I don't like specking anything but rubber flooring, solid rubber flooring. We got the TV mount. They had the mirror system. We did some cable concealment for them. Again, I've talked about this in other videos, how we use existing lines. So you can see how we frame the window here. The mirror is the same height. We're carrying lines. We're not creating new lines, which keeps things looking pretty clean. A very tight tolerance and measurement we got here was this is a full view TV mount, meaning it swivels both side to side and up and down. The depth of from the wall to the front of the TV compared to the depth of the wall to the side of this attic ladder. So my guys are very precise. I think we've got 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches here, so they can still pull this down and get access into the attic here. And then we got this really slick mirror, so we were able to make really great space utilization here despite not being able to put wall shelves or a slot wall system. This force system is insane. If you guys are looking for an all-in-one kind of at-home gym system, it's really great. So if you want to do heavy lifting or you just do a lot of cable exercises, it's great. You can see all the attachments it came with. When we spec garage gyms, we're pretty product agnostic. It's based on use case and how the client exercises. So both him and his wife can leverage that system, and it's all in one. Okay, we removed those overhead racks. There was a big Christmas tree here. We installed, seeing we had the headroom, this is called headroom. So from the garage door spring here to the ceiling, it's known as headroom. If you have 20 or more inches, you can easily do some open face wall shelving. These trees, these storage bins are usually 18 inches and lower. Just take that measurement before you go ahead and buy a product and wind up in a situation where you've installed a shelf, but the possessions you installed it to store don't fit. So look at this. And then this is a perfect example. We're not obstructing the lighting. right? If we had a big overhead rack here on the ceiling and here on the ceiling, all this light would be obstructed and it'd feel dark and dingy and a little amateur. And then notice we put this slat wall over here. So they park their golf cart here. The reason we put this on that side is so they can load up their golf cart and head out to their friend's place. Yeti coolers, scooters, strollers, if they're doing play dates, that kind of stuff, all of their items are over here. The new refrigerator is cut out of this photo, but it's on that side too. And then these are just non-essential yard tools, step stools, that kind of thing. We tucked in the back corner, seeing they're rarely used. If they were used often, I would have put these in a different spot. And I would have laid out this garage totally different if, they needed possessions stored over here to load up the car, et cetera, et cetera. So curious what you guys think about this project. I'm really proud of it. I think we nailed it. Came out great. This floor. Let's check out this epoxy floor. Now, when I say fully sealed paint chips, look at the high gloss. It looks like an orange peel. You could just see the texture here. Most epoxy floors do not look like this. I see a ton of floors, and rarely do I come across one that is up to the premium quality that we install. So not all epoxy floors are created equally, but you don't even need shoes to walk around here. I walk around barefoot. I take my shoes off because if there's a little dust when we're taking photos, I don't want my footprint to be on here and then have to clean it off because the guys work so hard. We wipe down the windows and the mirrors and the floors and the TVs, all the possessions. They do a really great job cleaning everything that they touch. So let me know what you think about this project. If you're in Austin, need help, please let us know. Otherwise, like our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram.